11 at night, you stare at that passive-aggressive message in the work group, and the heat rises instantly. You type a 200 word comeback, every word carrying a blade, thumb hovering over send. You've seen what happens after send. Last month, someone tore into a colleague in the big group chat and won every single exchange. 3 days later, the project reshuffled, and he was off the core roster. The screenshots still circulate. Nobody remembers his reasons. Here's the truth that hurts. The words that feel best to say at work are usually the ones that cost the most. Anger isn't your weapon. It's a torch handed to you by someone else, and what it burns is your own supply line. On anger and decisions, Sun Tzu closed Attack by Fire with the calmest passage in the whole book. Today, we break it down. In Lionel Giles's translation, no ruler should put troops into the field merely to gratify his own spleen. No general should fight a battle simply out of pique. It sits at the end of the chapter on fire attacks. The masters of fire guard hardest against the flame inside themselves. The hammer lands in the next lines. Anger may in time change to gladness. Vexation may be succeeded by content. But a kingdom once destroyed can never come again into being, nor can the dead ever be brought back to life. Emotions are reversible. Actions are not. That is the entire point. Boundary first. This episode is not about swallowing your feelings. Anger usually signals a real problem. We're solving exactly one problem. How to stop a moment of fire from burning down your long game. Translate never march in anger into workplace terms. A cooling protocol with 3 tiers, sorted by how irreversible the action is. The bigger the fire, the longer the cooldown. Tier 1, 10 minutes. Every send action. The comeback message, the snide comment, the email that copies the big boss. Write it if you must, then park it in drafts and go pour some water. Read it again in 10 minutes. 8 times out of 10, you'll cut half. 9 times out of 10, you'll be glad you didn't send. Tier 2, 24 hours. Every escalate action. Reporting to the boss, a public confrontation, forcing the issue in a meeting, sleep on it first. The 24 hours aren't delay, they're intelligence time. The deliberate attack you saw in fury often turns out, next morning, to be a misunderstanding. Tier 3, 7 days. Every burn the boats action. Rage quitting, storming into a transfer, cutting off a relationship, these have no undo key, so the cooldown starts at 7 days. Still want to leave after 7 days? That's a considered decision. Leave well. Can't wait 7 days? Then the anger is deciding, not you. One red line. Cooling down is not swallowing it. The problem still gets raised calmly. Your interests still get defended fully. The checklist governs when you act, never whether you act. Silent endurance isn't composure. It's just another loss of control. Now the most expensive illusion, said out loud. Exploding on the spot shows strength. Holding back is weakness. The opposite is true. Whoever gets angry first hands over the steering wheel. Attack by fire teaches burning the enemy, never setting yourself alight. The moment you're provoked, you've become someone else's fire attack. Here's a typical scene, a composite case, stitched together from many people's stories. You've probably watched some version of it happen. QA engineer Zhang gets blamed in front of the review meeting. I flagged this long ago, testing just never scheduled it. 10 pairs of eyes turn to him, and his fingertips shake with anger. The actual records sit right in his own hands. After the meeting, he does 3 things, and sends none of them. He parks a 300 word rebuttal in drafts. 10 minutes later, he comes back and deletes 200 of the words, leaving only facts and screenshots. Following Tier 2, he waits 24 hours without escalating, and checks the records first. The check flips the story. The flagged long ago message was posted in a small group he was never in. The developer wasn't lying. The process had a real hole. The next day, he books 15 minutes with the developer, records in hand, emotions left outside, and together they patch the reporting gap. At the next review, the developer adds 1 sentence in front of everyone. Last time was the process's fault, not testing's. Around the same time, the neighboring team saw an almost identical blame shift, and that engineer went to war on the spot, winning the argument outright. 6 months later, the promotion list came out without him, and one line of the appraisal leaked, capable, but emotionally unstable. Same grievance. One man converted it into a fixed process and a public apology, the other into a permanent label. The difference isn't the size of the temper, it's who installed a cooling valve on it. 3 moves you can use tomorrow. 1. Install the drafts protocol on your phone. From today, every emotionally loaded message goes to drafts first. Decide in 10 minutes whether it ships. This single rule blocks 9 fires out of 10. 2. Sleep before you escalate. Complaints, confrontations, showdowns, all of them wait overnight. Spend the 24 hours checking records and gathering facts. Turn, he's out to get me, into either evidence or a cleared misunderstanding. 3. Give boat. Burning 7 days. Rage quits, transfers, cut ties cool for 7 days before signing anything. Still resolved after 7? Leave with grace. Can't wait 7? It was never your decision, it was the anger's. Next episode is the season finale. We enter the use of spies. Knowledge of the enemy's dispositions can only be obtained from other men. The people who see change before everyone else aren't gifted. They run a first-hand information network. See you then.